The breaking point. The message arrived at Earth Defense Command precisely at 800 hours Standard Time. Captain Maya Donovan watched the holographic projection materialize above the conference table, revealing the multi-eyed visage of High Administrator Vexer. His translucent skin pulsed with bioluminescent patterns that revealed his agitation even before his translated words filled the room. Your species continues to exceed authorized technological parameters, Vexer stated, his translator converting the series of clicks and whistles into crisp English. The development of the resonant shield violates Treaty Directive 449B. Surrender all research, prototypes, and personnel involved within 3 standard cycles. The transmission ended abruptly. No pleasantries, no room for negotiation, just demands. Admiral Chen, seated at the head of the table, maintained her composed expression, though Donovan could see the tightness around her eyes. "Well," said General Rodriguez, breaking the silence. They certainly didn't waste time on diplomacy. For nearly 80 years, humanity had lived under the watchful eye of the Collective, a coalition of 5 advanced alien species who had welcomed Earth into the galactic community with promises of knowledge and prosperity. The reality had proven quite different. Humans were classified as a Tier 3 species, restricted from developing certain technologies and expanding beyond a handful of nearby star systems. Dr. Eli Nakamura, the only civilian in the room and lead scientist on the Resonance Shield project, cleared his throat. "The shield isn't even a weapon. It's purely defensive, designed to protect our colonies from solar flares and radiation. But it could be adapted to deflect their weapons," Admiral Chen said quietly. "That's what frightens them." The true breakthrough of the resonant shield wasn't just its ability to protect against natural phenomena, but its potential to be calibrated against the Collective's energy weapons. After decades of subtle oppression, Earth's scientific community had finally developed something that could level the playing field. Captain Donovan had been preparing for this moment her entire career. As commander of the EDS Defiant, one of Earth's newest stealth vessels operating beyond the Collective's monitoring network, she had spent the last 3 years helping to establish hidden outposts and weapons caches throughout human-controlled space. "Operation Thunderbolt is ready for activation," she reported. "All stealth bases are fully operational and armed. We can deploy within 6 hours if authorization is given." Admiral Chen nodded slowly. "The Security Council will need to make the final decision. But I want all commanders on standby." The following day, leaders from all 17 human colonies gathered virtually for an emergency session. The debate was heated but brief. Decades of growing restrictions had pushed humanity to its breaking point. Premier Santos addressed the assembly, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "For 80 years, we have complied with increasingly restrictive demands. We've watched our growth stunted, our innovations suppressed, all while being promised eventual equality. That promise remains unfulfilled. Today, we must choose: continued submission or standing for our right to determine our own future." The vote was nearly unanimous. Humanity would refuse the Collective's ultimatum. Within 24 hours, the Collective's response came as expected. A correction fleet of 30 vessels appeared near Proxima Centauri, humanity's most distant colony. Their intention was clear: make an example of the settlement to force Earth's compliance. What the Collective didn't anticipate was that Captain Donovan and the Defiant were already waiting there, along with 15 other stealth vessels positioned strategically throughout the system. "All ships maintain stealth protocol," Donovan ordered from the Defiant's command center. "Let them get into position before we activate the resonance grid." The Defiant hung motionless in the shadow of Proxima's largest moon, its advanced stealth systems rendering it invisible to the Collective sensors. On the bridge view screen, Donovan watched the alien fleet arrange itself in attack formation above the colony. "They're preparing bombardment protocols," reported Lieutenant Park from the tactical station. "Weapons charging." Donovan's eyes narrowed. "Activate the resonance grid." Throughout the Proxima system, hidden emitters came to life, generating a carefully calibrated energy field. The collective ships suddenly found themselves enveloped in a shimmering web of energy that adhered to their hulls, disrupting their shields and weapons. "Grid is active and stable," confirmed Commander Reyes, Donovan's executive officer. "Their weapons are offline." "All vessels, engage," Donovan ordered. The human fleet decloaked simultaneously, surrounding the immobilized collective ships. The aliens had always believed their technology superior, their tactical doctrine unmatched. They had never prepared for this scenario, being ambushed by a primitive species they had underestimated for too long. The battle was brief but decisive. The human vessels, equipped with newly developed railguns that fired projectiles at relativistic speeds, tore through the disabled collective ships. Donovan ensured one vessel, the command carrier, remained intact enough to retreat. "Let them go," she ordered as her crew targeted the carrier's engines. "They need to deliver our message." The damaged collective ship limped away from Proxima, carrying with it the shocking news that humans had not only defied the collective, but had soundly defeated one of their fleets. As it fled, Donovan transmitted a simple message on all frequencies. "This is Captain Maya Donovan of the Earth defense ship Defiant. For 80 years, humanity has endured your restrictions and control. That ends today. We claim our right to develop as we choose, to expand as we need, and to defend ourselves as we see fit. Any further aggression against human worlds will be met with the same response. We sought peace. You chose war." Across human space, Operation Thunderbolt activated. Hidden weapon platforms, stealth outposts, and resonance grid emitters revealed themselves. The carefully planned resistance, years in the making, was now fully deployed. On Earth, Admiral Chen received Donovan's confirmation of victory with grim satisfaction. "Inform all colonies to implement defense protocols," she ordered her staff, "and send word to our allies among the other tier species. It's time they knew the collective can be defeated." Dr. Nakamura, watching the data stream in from Proxima, shook his head in amazement. "The resonance shield worked even better than we projected. Their weapons couldn't penetrate it." "This is just the beginning," Chen replied. "The collective won't accept defeat easily. They'll return with a larger force." "And we'll be ready," Nakamura said. "I've already identified 3 additional modifications to the shield that will make it even more effective." At Proxima, Captain Donovan ordered damage assessment and repair crews to assist the colony. The settlement had suffered minimal damage, a testament to the effectiveness of their strategy. As she looked out at the stars from the Defiance observation deck, she felt the weight of what they had started. Humanity had taken its first step toward true independence, but the road ahead would be fraught with challenges. The quantum communicator chimed, indicating a message from Admiral Chen. "Well done, Captain," the Admiral said when her image appeared. "Your actions at Proxima have ignited something across the galaxy. We're receiving encoded transmissions from other Tier 3 and Tier 2 species. They've been watching, waiting for someone to stand up to the collective." Donovan raised an eyebrow. "Potential allies?" "Potentially," Chen confirmed. "But first, we need to prepare for the collective's response. Return to the Sol system immediately. We're implementing Phase 2. As the Defiant prepared for departure, Donovan received a report that the collective's council had declared humanity a rogue species, authorizing full military action against all human settlements. The war had officially begun. "Set course for Earth, maximum stealth," she ordered. "The real fight is just beginning." The counterattack. The collective's Grand Council chamber on their homeworld of Vextora had never witnessed such chaos. Representatives from all 5 ruling species argued vehemently, while holographic displays showed the devastation of their fleet at Proxima Centauri. High Administrator Vexer struggled to maintain order, his skin flashing rapid patterns of distress. "Impossible," declared Councillor Zrix of the Melfian species. "How could a Tier 3 civilization defeat our correction fleet?" "The humans have been developing technology in secret," Vexer replied, his translator struggling to convey his agitation. Our intelligence suggests they've been preparing for this confrontation for years. Then we must crush them completely, said General Kvan, the military commander of the collective forces. I propose deploying the Eradication Fleet. In 3 centuries of collective rule, the Eradication Fleet had only been deployed twice, both times resulting in the complete annihilation of the targeted species. Its activation required unanimous council approval. We should consider negotiation, suggested Counselor to Prax, the most moderate member of the council. If humans have advanced this far without our knowledge, perhaps they deserve reclassification. Weakness, hissed Kivin. Show mercy now, and every subjugated species will rebel. The humans must be made an example of. After hours of debate, the council voted. The Eradication Fleet would be deployed. But the collective had already underestimated humanity once. They were about to do so again. Captain Maya Donovan stood on the bridge of the Defiant, studying the tactical display of the Sol system. Earth's orbital defenses had been significantly enhanced over the past week, with resonance shield emitters positioned throughout the system. Status report, she requested. Commander Reyes appeared beside her. All colonies have implemented defense protocols. The resonance grid is operational in 7 systems. Dr. Nakamura's enhancements have been uploaded to all defense systems. Admiral Chen joined them, her expression grave. Our intelligence network confirms the collective has authorized their Eradication Fleet. They'll arrive within 48 hours. Donovan nodded. Then we proceed with Phase 2 as planned. Phase 2 was perhaps the most audacious aspect of humanity's resistance strategy, a direct strike at the heart of the collective's communication network. While the collective gathered their forces for a massive assault on human space, Donovan would leave a small strike team to disable the central communication hub that coordinated all collective military operations. The mission parameters are unchanged, Admiral Chen confirmed. The Defiant and 2 additional stealth vessels will depart immediately. If you succeed, the collective fleet will be left without central coordination, just as they engage our defenses. And if we fail? Donovan asked quietly. Chen's expression remained steady. Then humanity's resistance will be brief, but at least we stood for something. 12 hours later, the Defiant and its companion vessels, the Phantom and the Spectre, arrived at the edge of the Arcturus system, home to the collective's massive communication hub. The facility orbited a neutron star, drawing power from its immense energy output. Stealth systems functioning at optimal levels, reported Lieutenant Park. No indication they've detected us. Donovan studied the holographic representation of the hub. Deploy the resonance disruptors as planned. Target their shield generators first. The 3 human vessels moved into position, releasing specialized drones that carried modified versions of the resonance technology. Rather than creating a defensive shield, these devices would generate a focused disruption field, targeted specifically at the hub systems. Disruptors in position, confirmed Commander Reyes. Ready to activate on your command. Donovan took a deep breath. Activate. The effect was immediate and devastating. The communication hub's shields fluctuated and collapsed as the resonance field interfered with their energy patterns. Alarms must have been blaring throughout the facility, but its defenses were already compromised. Launch boarding teams, Donovan ordered. 3 shuttles detached from the human vessels, carrying specialized teams of engineers and soldiers. Their mission was not to destroy the hub, but to reprogram it, turning the collective's own communication network against them. Donovan led the team from the Defiant personally. As they docked with the now vulnerable hub, they encountered minimal resistance. Most of the facility's staff were technicians, not warriors. Secure the central control room, she ordered as her team moved through the corridors. Remember, we need the systems intact. Within 30 minutes, they had reached the heart of the facility. Dr. Nakamura, who had insisted on joining the mission, immediately began working on the central computer systems. Fascinating architecture, he muttered as his fingers flew across the alien interface, but fundamentally similar to our quantum networks. How long? Donovan asked, keeping watch at the entrance. 20 minutes to upload our package. Another 5 to ensure it can't be purged. The package was a sophisticated virus designed to infiltrate the collective's entire communication network. It wouldn't destroy their systems, but would instead subtly alter commands, reroute ships, and most importantly, broadcast evidence of the collective's manipulation and oppression to all species under their control. Just as Dr. Nakamura completed the upload, alarms blared throughout the facility. Collective warships detected, reported Commander Reyes through the comm. 3 destroyers on approach. Time to leave, Donovan ordered. The team retreated to their shuttles, fighting through the handful of security forces that had finally organized a response. As they returned to their ships, the first of the collective destroyers entered weapons range. But before they could fire, their systems appeared to falter, their weapons powering down unexpectedly. "The virus is already working," Nakamura said with satisfaction. "It's affecting their command protocols." The human vessels escaped the system as confusion spread through the collective fleet. By the time they regained control, the Defiant and its companions were long gone. In human space, the massive eradication fleet arrived to find the combined forces of Earth and its colonies waiting for them. But as they prepared to engage, chaos erupted within the collective ranks. Contradictory orders flooded their communication systems. Ship commanders received instructions to target their allies. Defense systems activated and deactivated randomly. And throughout it all, a message broadcast to every ship, every colony, every planet under collective control. The collective has lied to you. For centuries, they have suppressed advancement, restricted growth, and maintained power through deception. Today, humanity stands against their tyranny. We invite all who desire freedom to stand with us. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had witnessed. As the collective fleet struggled with compromised communications, human forces struck with precision and coordination. The resonant shields protected their ships and colonies, while railgun fire tore through the disorganized alien vessels. But the true turning point came when ships from other subjugated species began to defect, turning their weapons against the collective forces. The Narians, a Tier 2 species with powerful cruisers. The Vulturi, whose small but agile fighters swarmed the larger collective vessels. Even some members of the Melfian species, one of the collective founders, joined the resistance. Within hours, the mighty eradication fleet was in retreat, battered and broken by a coalition of formerly subjugated species. On Earth, Admiral Chen watched the reports come in with quiet satisfaction. "Contact Captain Donovan," she instructed her communications officer. "Tell her to proceed with the final phase." The final phase was perhaps the boldest yet, a direct transmission to Vextor itself, the collective homeworld. Using the compromised communication hub, humanity broadcast its terms. "The era of collective dominance is over. We do not seek revenge or conquest, only freedom. Recognize the independence of all willing species, abolish the tier system, and establish a true galactic council where all have equal voice. These are our terms." For 3 days, silence followed. Then, a transmission from Counselor to Prax arrived, requesting a meeting to discuss the formation of a new galactic alliance. 1 month later, Captain Maya Donovan stood in the grand chamber of what had once been the Collective Council. Now representatives from 27 species gathered as equals, including all 5 former collective rulers. The new Galactic Alliance Treaty was about to be signed. "You've changed the course of galactic history," Admiral Chen said quietly as she joined Donovan by the observation window. "Not bad for a species that was classified as primitive just months ago." Donovan watched the proceedings with a mixture of pride and caution. "We still have a long way to go. Some of the former collective members are only cooperating because they have no choice." "True," Chen acknowledged. "But for the first time, humanity has a seat at the table, an equal voice in determining our future." As the treaty was signed, Donovan reflected on the cost of their victory. Human colonies had suffered damage, lives had been lost, but the alternative, continued subjugation, had become unacceptable. Sometimes freedom required standing up to those who would deny it, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. The new alliance would face challenges. Centuries of hierarchical thinking wouldn't disappear overnight. But humanity had proven that determination and ingenuity could overcome even the most advanced technology. "What's next for you, Captain?" Chen asked as they prepared to return to Earth. Donovan smiled slightly. "There's a lot of galaxy we haven't been allowed to explore. I think it's time we see what's out there. This time, as equals, not as servants." As the Defiant departed for its next mission, Donovan knew that humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. They had answered oppression with resistance, and in doing so, had changed the destiny of not just their own species, but countless others across the stars. The message was clear: push humanity too far, and they would push back, harder than anyone could imagine.